Hey guys, Em here. Welcome back to today's video. We are going to finish furnishing the interior of the build today. It's a big chunky build. There's a lot of space to fill. So I figured I'd start with the kitchen. And I definitely struggled with the counters. I know that's everyone's issue with The Sims is just I want different counters. But I don't want to pay for stuff, so I think I will do a bit of CC shopping, but I don't know how I feel about that. If people want to download the builds. So let me know if you want to see some more custom content videos, like custom content shopping and stuff like that. Let me know. Because I could do with some new stuff. Oh my gosh. I've literally, like, this is the second time I'm playing with cottage living and I'm still just like, there's not enough stuff in the game. And I don't want to spend literally hundreds of dollars buying all of the official content, so I'm just not going to. So we're going to make do with what we've got. I still think we get some pretty cute stuff. I definitely need to learn how to go through like the buy debug stuff to really flesh out my builds. But considering this is the first like major build I've done in The Sims 4 since I don't know, for a very long time, it'll be really interesting to see how this compares to one of my very first builds, which actually I think I've still got some footage of one of my very first YouTube builds that I recorded but never uploaded, so I'll see if I can find that footage and pop it up as a comparison and, you know, figure out how different I do things now with regards to designing stuff. But let's move on to finishing the interior layout downstairs. I wanted to separate the rooms out a little bit, give it a bit more variation, a little bit of pizzazz. And I think the layout works really well. It feels like there's kind of a rhyme and reason to it. I don't know that personally I would have 2 lounge rooms, but it is what it is. One has a TV, one's a bit more of a formal sitting room, which I think is pretty common in big houses like this, is to have like a room that you just sit in. So I left that to sort of be decorated later, but I just wanted to plan things out, make sure that I was happy with how it was looking aesthetically. I definitely feel like once we get rid of the stark white walls, which I put there as just a placeholder, once I get rid of those, the build starts to really come together. It starts to look a lot more inviting. At the moment, it's just very like boring white, brown wood floors. It's very bland. And yeah, I really think when we change the walls up, it'll be a bit nicer. But here I am getting distracted by the front door area, making sure the front porch looks cute. I found decorating the exterior of this build, which you'll see later, took just so long. It's the same as Animal Crossing. Like, decorating large flat spaces outside is still hard. It's still difficult. Even if I roughly know what I'm going to do, it's just I struggled so hard with it. But we'll get there. We will get there. This room here is going to turn out to be the what's it called? The boot room. So it's like a little entryway you come in from like the farm area, and you have somewhere to put your shoes and make sure you're not going to get like stuff all over the floor. It gives you just like a transition space from inside to outside, and some storage, which is always good. Every place needs a good amount of storage. It's very helpful. Very good indeed. I genuinely think that the staircase area is one of my favorite spots in the build. I just realized it doesn't have any railing, but I think I like it without railing. I think it just looks really clean, crisp and nice. I popped a few wardrobes around the build as like linen storage, like hallway storage. I feel like that's something that you don't really do in The Sims that much because it's kind of pointless. Like they wouldn't need that. But I like the realism of it, damn it. I really struggled finding a light that I would like for above the table, but this like holiday light isn't too like holiday-y and it works really well. Here's where I swap the tables, by the way. I realized, oh, I can just use 2 of these. There's no need for 3 little tables when you can use 2 big ones. And then we decide on a nice country looking dining table. I really love these chairs. What pack are they from? I don't even remember, but they just look so nice. They're very like country vibes, but modern, and the wicker seating. It's just, the weave seating is cute. It's all coming up Millhouse. I feel like once you start furnishing a build that's this big, it can feel a bit overwhelming, but I just tackle it a space at a time, and sometimes I get a bit distracted and move on, but I genuinely feel like it just makes a big difference once you get going. And here's where I changed the walls to that cream color, and oh my gosh, does it make a difference. It looks so much nicer. I even changed the upstairs. I was like, yeah, this all needs to be different. We gotta do it. I found it so much nicer. I was trying to work out why that room was really bright, but I couldn't figure it out, so I just changed the time of day, as you do. But we're just getting through the builds. Popping my favorite painting at the end of the table there. Oh, I would love that painting in my house. It's just like a big wine glass. Well, I mean, my island on Animal Crossing is named Shiraz, so I mean, there's a theme there. I love the bigger rugs. I wish we could scale them down a bit. I don't particularly think that rug is the right scale for that spot, but it was the best I could find. And here we've got a nice cozy fireplace. I thought that wall was a decent spot to put it. I did want to put a chimney breast on it, but it's not necessary in The Sims, and you can just pretend that, you know, there's a thick wall between it and it goes up through the ceiling, whatever. But here we're just doing some decorating of that boot room I was talking about. A couple of extra little bits and bobs around. I definitely feel like the kitchen is a bit bare bones, even once I finished the external decorating. So I think I'm gonna go back in and revisit it a little bit. I'm also not sure about the room next to the boot room, if I decorated that or not. So I'm gonna have to check that. Yeah, once I figured the layout for this room out, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a sitting room. Okay, that makes sense. I love these like sage green chairs with this like light wood tone. Oh, it looks so nice together. This is so cozy. I would love to live here. I thought the little lantern lights were really good. They really match that farmhouse vibe, but give you something a bit different to look at. It's not just a modern light. I popped a Christmas tree in the corner because I thought, you know, if that was my house, that's where I'd put the Christmas tree. Mostly just for like filling that corner up. I couldn't find anything else. It's definitely not winter in the game. Yeah, so I don't know. I felt like it was nice to add some like cozy little bits and bobs around that made it feel lived in. Because it's that kind of detailing that really makes these builds feel a little bit more personal, rather than just, oh, it's a display home with stuff in it. I always find it a little bit difficult to find that balance between like adding some personality and like leaving it for people to play in, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't particularly play like the gameplay of The Sims that much. I think I'm just going to use it as like a building simulator because I really enjoyed that aspect. So we're going to do that. But yeah, I will probably get some new content to add into it because it will get repetitive really quickly because there are items that are better than others, and I can tell you now there are aesthetics that I'm just not keen on trying. Although I have an idea to do some like random aesthetic generator type stuff, so there's lots of video ideas floating around in my brain. So if you think of anything you want to see, let me know and I will try my best to do it because I am having a lot of fun making these, even if it is taking me forever to do one thing because I'm so out of practice with building. And I always bite off more than I can chew. So the main sort of living space I think is pretty much done here. I need to definitely do some more detailing in the kitchen area, but we're gonna move on to the little powder room. I decided to make this like a little bathroom. It feels like a really natural spot to have a small little powder room just adjacent to the kitchen. Like you wouldn't want a guest bathroom like this to be too far away from where all of the main stuff in the house is. So I really wanted to include this in the build and I think it turned out pretty good. I found the small space a bit difficult to work with, but once I got my bearings, it was like, oh, okay, this is where this should go. This is what this is. Yeah, once I sort of figured that out, I felt a lot better about it all. I think I choose, like the little mountain scene for the walls and just a little bucket in the corner to make it not empty, but not too full. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think this is where I like look at the flooring and I'm like, the white's not doing it for me. I changed all the door colors too because it was feeling very uninviting. It's weird to think that like white is uninviting, but in this space it really did. It needed to be more of like a cream or like a beige color to really match in with the house. I can't remember what couches I decide on in this room. I think I do a corner. No, I don't actually keep that there. I thought I'd like that there, but I think I change it pretty quickly. It's not the vibe that we are going for. I do love that little chair is it from Tiny Home or Bowling? No, I think that's Tiny Living. Possibly one of my favorite little chairs. It works so well. Going for some more traditional styled like hutches, and that bookcase is a little bit more traditional looking. And I thought I'd like an anchoring rug here, but it just doesn't really work in this space. That's where I get rid of the couch. I'm like, what am I gonna put there now? Oh no. So yeah, I try, what couch do I stick with? It was really hard to pick a couch. I think I just go with that one? I know I go with that table over there. Oh yes, this is where I'm like, oh no, the sage color, that's the best. Oh, I think I just use those chairs. Right. That makes a lot more sense. Go my brain. Well done. Some little poofs. See how much like cleaner and more open that looks than it did before, rather than blocking the bookshelf off. Oh, much better. Oh, I choose a different table, do I? Oh, I go with the same one from the other room. Yeah, makes sense. It keeps it more cohesive. Probably a little bit more boring, but I think it's cohesive and cute. And I really enjoy this little living space. What do I put in the corner here? I have something. There's a little hand on the shelf there. Oh, I popped little Yoda in the corner. Why not? The child. He's there. Popped a clock on the wall because it feels like it matches the space. Now, rugs. Why do they do that? Why do they go from one size to being ginormous? it really grinds my gears. But I ended up going with just basically layering like one next to each other to make it look like a bigger rug, and I think that works really well. It looks really nice in that space. But here I'm just trying to put like final touches on stuff, make everything feel like lived in and part of the space, and yeah, I think it just all works really well. I do tend to pull a lot of stuff out. Like if you see me dumping stuff out in the lawn over there, that's because I'm pulling it out for decorating outside so that I don't have to scroll through the catalogue and find it all later. But we're moved upstairs now. I think I'm taking a break and thinking about what I want to do for this next space. And I think this room here becomes the master bedroom because it has a bathroom off to the side. It's a really cute room. I really enjoy it. I possibly could have made the balcony to the left of the room, if you're looking directly at the bed. I could have possibly made that into like a personal balcony, but I thought it made more sense as like just an overall outdoor space for the family, whatever family moves in here. Originally I wanted to go with the green accent color, but I wasn't sure, so I went the old traditional route of popping just some of these beautiful curtains over the walls. And then I really like that sort of dusty blue. It looks great with that blue bed set. I think it ties in really nicely. Again, struggling with the goddamn rugs. I didn't know what to do. So I think I chose this one in the end because it matched that like natural homey vibe that we were going for. I don't think that dresser works very well, but I don't think I change it as well, so there's that. I possibly could have chosen something else that might work a bit better there, but you live and you learn, hey? But yeah, I do like a bit of asymmetry here and there in parts of the design. I think it can be really interesting to not do everything completely symmetrical. Pop some little like bits and bobs around and make it feel like, you know, it's lived in. Nothing's going to be perfect if it's lived in. I rarely use that lamp. Like I rarely used it when I used to play The Sims. But I think in that room, because there's a lot of space at the end there, I was like, oh, this kind of works. It kind of makes sense. But I found this little corner here impossible. I think I should have just popped like a wardrobe there or something. I don't know. I really wanted to try and make that light work, but it was too bulky. So I moved on. I think I end up just doing like a little light bit. I opened the curtains up a little bit more because it was feeling a bit claustrophobic. It wasn't my favorite. But I do love that little flower vase on like a bit of wood. It's very cute. And I thought it went well. So that's why I did that. But yeah, I'm just basically scrolling through the catalog, getting stuff out that I feel like works, and now we get onto the tiny skinny little bathroom that I was like, oh, I'll be able to fit so much in here, and I was like, wait, no, I can't. This is hard. This is hard to decorate. What do I do? So I thought I'd do like the bath and shower in here. In this original orientation, it doesn't look bad, but then where do I put the sink? That was the problem I was having. So originally I popped the bath in the other room. I was like, oh, okay, I'll pop the toilet behind the little half wall and then do the extra little bits. But then I struggle so hard with this until I move some extra things around. I go back and forth for a long time. I thought about cutting this little bit out of the video, but I thought it might be worth saving just in case you guys want to see like the entire process rather than just snippets. I really wanted to try and pop something on top of that half wall so that Sims don't put items there. So but I couldn't find anything that was small enough and didn't look atrocious. So I'm sorry if you play with this house and your sim put stuff there. It's just, that's how it is. Oh yes, that little basket. Perfect. Perfect blanket basket. I love that item. It's very cute. And it works really well in that little cozy living space. I think this is where, yeah, I keep changing things on the fly, and I think that's what you've got to do when you're building in The Sims. You've got to be very flexible. You've got to be open to changing your mind pretty quickly, doing different stuff. It's very fun. But I think this is, do I keep the, no, I go for a bit more of a natural color. Yes. I don't know what it is about this like darker brown color that I'm really liking with the gray walls. I think it's just very cute. Chic. I don't know. But it still feels light and airy. It doesn't feel boxy or like closed in. I think because it's such a bright room, like the lighting in Brindleton Bay. Is that what this is called? No, that's not this world's name. Henford on Bagley. Oh my gosh. The lighting in this world is beautiful. And I think it's just, it works so nicely. It looks just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And there I am changing the candles to be that sage color that I love. That sage color and brown is just 10 out of 10. Now this is where I start changing things up and I'm like, oh, I need to do something different here. Because I was thinking of having like a little unit thing or like some storage, but then I was like, wait a second, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. And once I made this like little tiny office here, which is small, it's only a 3x3 room, but it's very cute. I do struggle with the bookshelves. I don't understand why we don't just have a one tile standard bookshelf. Sims, what's that about? But I ended up choosing this like bigger unit. I think we integrate it pretty well into the space. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it at the same time. And then I'm like, oh, I can make that bathroom bigger. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of space. And I didn't really want to change the layout at the other end. And then I was like, oh, I could just put a little wardrobe in the hallway because that's where you would have a wardrobe. And then I was like, wait a second. What if we make all the doors darker? And that looks so much nicer than a white door. And it adds some tonal variation. It looks nice. It looks clean, but it's so much warmer. It's so good. I love it. So yeah, I think the master bathroom actually came out really nicely and I was pretty happy with it in the end there. Now this is a space where I struggled with it for a long time. I didn't know if I wanted this room down here to be like an entertaining room or a bedroom or what I wanted to do with it. So I kind of I look at it and go, I'm not ready to tackle that just yet. And I move on to a kid's bedroom. So this is a very large kid's bedroom, but I made it have 2 single beds. So it's like some kids share it. I don't know if that's a great idea, but I really liked the idea of having this like shared space for some children. Obviously you can change it out for like a toddler bed if you have a toddler in the house. It feels like 2 separate spaces enough. There's 2 sort of personalities going on as well. I haven't created a family for this lot. I've just gone ahead and made this little story in my brain. But I think this little space turns out pretty nice. Considering I don't decorate children's items very often, or like children's bedrooms and stuff, and I'm not a proponent of the kidcore stuff in Animal Crossing, I think it turns out okay. I think I did alright. Mostly just applying my design ideas to the other parts of like other games. So yeah, I follow little stories, little areas, and I think it works out. Works out in the end. I loved the little cloud items. Just adding some little pops of color here and there and making it feel lived in but also not lived in. Man, I struggled with finding a rug for this spot. I remember sitting here and being so frustrated. I was like, why is nothing working? Why can't I find anything? Because either things were too small or they didn't center properly or like they were too big, and then I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, I don't know what to do. So I think I just went with this big rug in like a beige color just to add some variation. Yeah, I think I left it at like an angle like that to be like, oh, it's just like shoved under the bed. It's not very well done. It's a little bit messy. And I think that works. This bathroom turned out really cute from what I remember, actually. How did I lay it out? I think the shower stays there. What did I do? I did the sink there? Yes. Yeah. Sink there. I ended up just keeping it as a shower and a toilet bathroom. It was a bit too cluttered with a bathroom. So I did that, and then I added a little half wall and I changed up the tiles a little bit. I think that works really nicely in this space. And I just popped a little hamper in, a little bit of a towel rack, chucked some of the little robes, like the kids have their own robes, which is really cute. And that's pretty much it for that space. I didn't want to overdo it. Then I look at this room and I start to pop some stuff out, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll make it like an entertaining space. And then I thought about it, and it was like, this house is so big, it needs another room. And I really struggled with furnishing, so I was like, you know what, it needs a bedroom. We need to have like a teenager's room, so I've like covered all the bases. And once I popped that little purple chair there, I was like, oh, this could be a cute little like teenager's bedroom. Not ideal having your bedroom across from your parents, but once I like push that wall back over a little bit, give the hallway a little bit more space at the end there, this feels like an appropriate teenager sized room. Because it's a single room, you don't want it too big, you don't want it too small, it feels right. I would have absolutely twisted somebody's arm into another dimension to have this room when I was growing up. I was not that lucky, but oh my gosh, how much I would have wanted it to be like that. My goodness. Oh yeah, it turns out to be like this corner is a little study corner. I love that desk with like the little book and like the trestle legs. It's just cute. Bit more of an older computer. Yeah, so once we finish the little desk area, we move on to picking a poster for above the bed and finalize this room. We don't have a whole lot left to do in today's video. I think we just pick a rug and pop some, what is it, like some extra decor around, a little bookshelf, palm tree, which works really well. I think it's just a nice little thing. I think I put an easel as well, which really helps. Gives the sort of creative art student vibes. And I really like it. And that is pretty much it for today. I really appreciate if you watched all the way through to the end. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll get the exterior build out pretty soon for you. I had so much fun building this and creating the little stories, and it's all around been enjoyable, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!